Okay, we're live. Can you see me?
Hold on, I think I have to start. I think it's calling you.
Okay.
Ah,
Do you see my big head? I
now I
see
see
you.
you.
Yay. I just wanted to make sure that the link I sent worked because I think I sent it to Bo. Trying to figure out
Oh,
if
there's a screen
that
share
worked.
option.
What happened?
There's a screen share option. I didn't know it was on there.
Oh, yeah.
I've always done it from my iPad or my iPhone, so I've never really had that option because I've had the mobile version.
Ah, okay.
Jim, could you send me the link for the Hangout? I don't see it in my.
You know where you could look? I know it sounds funny. I put it on Facebook.
Anybody who wants in on this.
Up to 10 people. Anything past 10 and they're cut off. But I guess if we would have used the EDU account, we would have been able to have more people.
Yeah. We should have tweeted this.
10 is fine.
Hashtag ISTE.
Should tweet it.
I tweeted it too. I tweeted it from my handle, not ISND's handle.
I can tweet it from.
Let me see if I could get the link from here.
I see the link. You just gotta. I'm just trying it from the other place.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to Bo, even though I think I sent the invite. Okay.
There are a whole bunch of options over here.
I tweeted it out. And I put it under the ISTE 2014.
Cool.
Great.
I'm actually going to the event now. Do I start?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm trying to figure out if Abid is here. I see a question.
Join.
Okay.
There's everybody.
I just did something crazy. Just give me a second. I feel like I
I have
lost
no idea, but when you hit the mouse, it's flipping over to me. Watch, did it? Like, pick it up and set it down.
this too.
I have no idea why my mic is picking that up.
Me either. I should probably put headphones in, huh?
All right. This is really weird. Whoever's joining in, please forgive me. I am actually looking for my screen. I lost it. But this is kind of new, so thank you for, it's not new, but we're new to using it, so thanks for your patience. Okay, I see Matt, I see Lori, I see the box that just says Alexandria. Okay, Abid is here. He's just having a problem with the camera. Okay, hi Abid. Just a point of information on the right-hand side, I added a Q&A app. I'm going to lower my volume a little bit just to avoid the feedback. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I guess we'll officially say welcome. The purpose of this Google Hangout is to share some of our takeaways from ISTE 2014. This is a live broadcast, and it is being recorded. The good news is we can edit, too, but as of right now, it's streaming live, and it will be on YouTube. Does anyone have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
Okay. I'm just checking my email from time to time because Bo just emailed me to see if we were on. So let me just see if she hasn't. She hasn't responded. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to screen share. And the team has started a wiki. And with the wiki, maybe that's not what I want to do. Let's start over. Screen share. I want to screen share the desktop, I think. Okay. Maybe that's not it either. Alrighty then. This is perhaps not what I want. Start screen share. Okay, that's equally strange. Let's see. I'm going to go to Chrome, and I'm going to find. I know that's just the strangest.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, go figure. This will be edited. Okay, can everyone see my desktop by any chance?
No.
No. Go Google Plus. I would have been better off doing WebEx, you know.
Oh, can't say WebEx on Google Hangouts. Oh, now something happened. Now your video's going off.
All right. I'm just glad it's up right now then. I'm getting there. We're going to find me again.
Do you have to screen share and then minimize the Hangout? Maybe?
I think I will try that. That's what I was attempting to do. So here I am back on the Hangout, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to screen share. And now it says select a window to show in the video call. It either says desktop or Google Hangouts. So which one should I choose? I chose desktop before and it did that strange thing, right? So I'm going to do desktop, start screen share, and then I am going to minimize this and see what happens. Did it again, right? I can't even tell where to begin.
Oh, now we have like something else weird. Oh, wait.
Is it on screen share now?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, it just fixed whatever you did.
I think we
Okay,
have to mute ourselves.
okay, and then when it's your go, we'll go from there. Okay, Abid, thanks for bearing with us. The team decided to create a wiki because we thought that this would be a great place to pull all of our resources in one place. It's still a work in progress, but our goal for today was to share with you 5 of our major takeaways, like what really stood out about the conference, and highlights from a couple of the workshops that we've attended. We're in the process of recording like a number of videos that were from ISTE 2014, since we have about 3 days left to record what they have. We'll also have that as a portal. We'll probably place this on the wiki space. And what we'll do, because this is private, we'll invite people to the wiki space if they want to actually view it, okay? So I'll get started. This is on my page for now, and like I said, it's still a work in progress. My top 5 takeaways, number 5, I really found out that I needed to rejoin the Twitterverse. I kind of felt like everything was like at lightning speed, and it was kind of why I didn't bother with Twitter, because there's just so many people are posting because people always have something to say. But something that I noticed about using Twitter, especially as it relates to ISTE, there are always educational technology gurus who are posting tidbits of information that we can use as instructional technologists, whether it's a resource, whether it's an open educational material, whether it's an article, professional journal entry, anything like that, you would find it on Twitter and at lightning speed. With the 16,000 members who were at ISTE, what we did notice was that most of them had Twitter, and everyone was tweeting about everything that was taking place. So if we wanted to catch anything, it was probably best to join the Twitterverse. So that was my first big takeaway. The second one that I had, and I've done this for years with ISTE, I volunteer, and it's a great way to meet people and to learn more about the intricacies of the organization. So that's another takeaway. So if you ever go, if you ever do decide to attend ISTE, I strongly advise that you volunteer. They only ask for a day and like a couple of hours. So it's not taking that much away from the conference experience. I have a tendency to do it at the beginning of the conference so that I don't miss any trainings or workshops. And it's just an opportunity to meet people. You get a free t-shirt and other goodies, so it's worth it. Another thing, ISTE is huge. The organization is huge. It's best if you start networking and joining some of the smaller networks. So we went to a poster fair where all the ISTE networks were present. They presented and they spoke and gave us like a 30-second pitch about their different networks and why one should join. The ones that I joined for now, I joined the EdTech Coaches Network. The reason why I did that was because as an instructional technologist, instructor, trainer, it's our job to coach and facilitate and work with faculty and staff. This particular network allows us to look at resources that will help us to become better coaches. I decided to join the Digital Storytellers Network because I know that this particular room where we are housed right now is going to be converted into a multimedia room, and there's just been a compelling argument for digital storytelling. The best way to have impact on anything is to have that story. The story captures you as an individual. It gets everyone's attention. It evokes empathy, all of the things that make us human. I think it kind of puts the human nature back into technology, and that's part of the reasons why I joined the Digital Storytellers Network. But in addition to that, they do give you all of the how-tos. I went to a playground session, and someone went from soup to nuts telling you the equipment and exactly what you needed in order to get that green screen room up and in place. Games and simulations, I decided to join because gaming is a huge movement in the instructional technology movement. I think about key examples. I know in the military as well as UPS, they use games and simulations all the time for their training of their staff and their recruits. If we could tap in and figure out how we can use that as the community college, that would be great. And I chose mobile learning because as we become a campus where BYOD is a huge thing, students are bringing their own devices quite often. We want to see what trends and technologies are available to make the most out of our students' mobile learning experiences. My other takeaway, there were literally thousands of workshops, and even if we had 50 people at this experience, I don't think we would have been able to capture everything. But something that I can appreciate is the fact that they did have videos available if you did register for the conferences, and I'm thankful for my team for capturing some of the great highlights from the ISTE conference, which again, like I said, will be available on the Wikispace. My number one takeaway is this gentleman, Kevin Carroll. What an awesome keynote speaker. He spoke specifically on the rules of the rubber ball and the importance of play, the importance of paying it forward, the importance of being a CEO. And when he was speaking of CEO, he wasn't talking about a chief executive officer. He was talking about being a chief encouragement officer. How are we coaching other people to make themselves better? And just the idea that play is essential. Play helps us to evoke the creative process. So those are my top 5 takeaways. I just wanted to share this infographic, which I thought had an amazing impact. The idea that there were 16,000 people at this conference from all over the world, it was absolutely an amazing gathering of like-minded people who believe in preparing our students for the future. 21st century learning is at the forefront of their thinking. They are innovators, they are educators, and they love what they do, and it was absolutely obvious there. You can take a look at this infographic for yourself, but I just wanted to emphasize that there were that many people there, and just the idea that they almost had 500,000 tweets over 4 days speaks to the importance of just being involved with Twitter. And it wasn't just random statements. There were just really great qualitative tweets out there. I wanted, as a group, for us to explore our closest ISTE affiliates. There's one in Virginia and Maryland as well. I think that that's something that we'll look into to see how we can become a little bit more active in that particular network. And the 2 workshops or experiences I'm going to speak on are the Digital Storytelling Playground. Something that I enjoyed about ISTE, besides the 500 vendors or more that were there, was the idea that they had these playgrounds where you can actually go and touch, feel, and experience different technology tools. And it wasn't linked to any vendor or any selling process. The Digital Storytelling Network sponsored this particular playground, and within the playground, the first thing that caught my eye was this table with this teacher. And as we know, teachers are the most resourceful human beings you can ever imagine. You know, you can go to the dollar store and create your own amazing classroom for like $50. And this particular teacher was a puppeteer by trade, and she wanted to bring digital storytelling into the classroom, and she wanted to specifically use green screen or chroma key, you know, if you want to use the professional terminology. But she didn't have the thousands of dollars to create that studio in her classroom, let alone the space. So she basically had this concept called the tabletop green screen in miniature. She was using little tiny trifold cardboard sets. She was using pizza boxes, Starbucks straws, those spa gloves that you see that people put lotion on. She had the green ones, and puppets. And she pretty much made her own tabletop green screen experience. And the green screen in the box with the pizza box was the most fascinating because A, it stood up on its own, and B, when students were done, they were able to put all their props in the box, close it, and put it someplace neatly, you know? So that really caught my attention. Just wanted to let you know she created a Symbaloo link. And this is on the wiki, so everything that she had related to the green screen in the box is right here, showing you how she did it. Okay? I'm not going to go through that in detail, only because I just want to make sure everyone gets an opportunity to speak, and I'm just running my mouth, right? The other part, within the digital playground, they had mini sessions, and one that I attended was called Green Screen Make It Happen. She shared her slideshow on SlideShare, and something that I thought was absolutely amazing with her, she actually went from soup to nuts, just explaining what green screen was from the very beginning and giving you ideas on how to use it, what was needed, and what I thought was neat, she spoke specifically on lighting. She spoke about where the lighting should be placed, and I know that we will be using this in our multimedia room. Just the idea that she went above and beyond to let you know that the light source needed to be by the camera and on the left and the right, and the subject needs to be like 8 feet away from the screen so that you weren't casting any shadows. So I thought that that was neat, that she was just that detailed. She spoke about the different editing tools you could use, and I like the idea that you can use iMovie with the green screen. So I know that, you know, my team has been working with iMovie quite a bit, and they're getting comfortable with it. So now that we know that that green screen element is there, we can do that. I know that we also have Camtasia, and she didn't mention Camtasia, but I know that there are other teachers who are using Camtasia with green screen, so I know that that's definitely a possibility. She gave us tools where we could get backgrounds that are royalty-free, so, and within our Creative Commons license, so we don't have to worry about, you know, doing anything illegal. And I love the idea that she gave us feasible, practical tips and tricks. She also did a thing link, and on her thing link, this is the slideshow presentation, but she has video demonstrations and tutorials that we can go to. I won't go through them in particular, but something that I know that she referenced, which I think is very important, she referenced going to Vimeo. Vimeo has a whole set of video tutorials. It's called Vimeo Video School. So if you need any one-on-one support on how to create videos, Vimeo Video School is a great place to go. From a pedagogical perspective, I wanted to reference Kathy Schrock's take on digital storytelling. As we know, she is just extremely talented and has given you a plethora of resources all centered around digital storytelling. So if we ever had to make the compelling argument to our instructional staff, it is all here. Two particular apps that I want us to look into a little bit more as it relates to our digital storytelling and the employment and the use of green screen. There's an app called Green Screen by Do Inc., which allows you to do any video editing as it relates to green screen for a mere $2.99. Adobe Voice is also another digital storytelling tool that is absolutely free, which I'm definitely downloading and looking at as a result of this workshop experience. Other cool stuff I wanted to share. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Tammy Worcester Tang, but this particular woman has been around for a long time, and she always gives some awesome tips, tricks, and tools, and she shares them on her Evernote page. So I just have a link here so that you could take a look at it. Let's see, I need to log in, so don't mind me. Wait, that is my password. At least I think. I have too many passwords in my life. Okay, I finally got it right. Okay, Tammy Worcester, which I thought, you know, was kind of neat. She created this Evernote note with the list of everything that she spoke on her top 20 technology tips, tricks, and tools. You can look at this on your own, but what I thought was kind of neat, she spoke specifically about some of the things that we're using already. Yay, like Kahoot. Something else that she spoke on, which I'll talk about in a little bit, she spoke about Google Classroom. Guess what? Blackboard and all those other learning management systems are probably going to be shaking in their boots because Google is entering the game. They're entering the LMS game, and you know that Google has created it in such a way where it will integrate seamlessly with Google Drive. So you can only imagine what it's going to be like. Something else she shared in another training was Google Spreadsheets and Forms in a one-on-one classroom. Again, I say you could look at these on your own, but there was something that stood out to me that I thought was kind of neat. In terms of engagement, she has an add-on that you could put in a Google spreadsheet called a random picker, which is great because we know that in the classroom you always sometimes want to have a tool that allows you to pick students at random. This particular tool will allow you to do that. The other tool that I wanted to share, it might be on the other list. Yeah, I think it's on the other list. I apologize. The other thing that I wanted to share, she had a URL shortener, QR code creator that you can embed someplace else at your convenience, and it makes a bit.ly link along with the QR code. I don't know if any of you are familiar with bit.ly, but with bit.ly you can create your truncated URL codes, but they don't give you the QR code with it. This particular add-on allows you to do that. So I thought that that was kind of neat. Sometimes I like bit.ly a little bit more than GOOGL because you can customize the bit.ly and actually put a name after it. So I could have a bit.ly / ISTE 2014 MVCC versus these random numbers on the side. So that's one of the reasons why from time to time I would opt to choose bit.ly versus goo.gl. It also will give you the same analytics as Google, their truncated piece. Wanted to show you a quick preview on this new learning management system that Blackboard is going to be shaking in their boots over. Simple, right? Yeah. So
That's pretty awesome.
the other thing that's coming down the pipe, right now this is in beta, but anyone, since we have EDU accounts, I believe that we can actually get a free trial and test it out for ourselves to do a compare and contrast. The other thing I want us to take a look out Panopto. Office Mix for PowerPoint 2013 exists. It's an add-on, and you know, as complicated as Panopto is, I don't see why we wouldn't just use PowerPoint 2013 and use the add-on for Office Mix. So I wanted to show you this also.
Hi, I'm Jeanette, and I'm going to show you how to make your very first Office Mix. Office Mix turns your PowerPoint presentations into interactive online lessons that you can share with anyone. So are you ready to begin mixing? Let's get started. Once you've downloaded the Mix plugin from our website, mix.office.com, go ahead and fire up PowerPoint. You can start with a PowerPoint presentation that you've already created, or you can create a new one. It's your choice. You will now see our new Mix tab on the PowerPoint ribbon. Yep, you got it. Go ahead and select it. Ta-da! All of the things you need to create your first mix are here. Yes, it really is that easy to get started. Add audio and video of yourself giving your presentation. Write on slides as you talk to them. Insert quizzes, practice exercises, and more. All from within PowerPoint. Office Mix helps you do it all simply. Now be sure to check out all of my tutorials for detailed instructions on Mix's capabilities and what to do next. I will guide you through this.
So just imagine Office Mix to me, Office Mix to me reminds me of Nearpod, where you can actually embed quizzes and assessments and surveys, but it's all within the PowerPoint platform, so you don't have to leave to do it at all. You share it in the you save it in the cloud, and then you share it with your students, and then they're able to do this. So, just something to think about. It's a lot more simpler than Panopto, I could tell you that. The other trend that I saw that was quite evident during ISTE 2014, there are a lot of video editing tools now where there are assessment tools embedded within. The first one that I wanted to speak about was TED Ed, from the makers of TED, and we all know TED is just an awesome experience because that's the site where there are ideas worth sharing. Now they want to take it to the next level, and they want to have people share their lesson plans. Not just their lesson plans, but if they have some type of engaging video, they upload the video, and then from there you can start off with questions. They could be multiple choice or open-ended. In addition to that, you can have students have an extended assignment. And the beautiful thing is all the data is collected right within TED Ed. So if you had a spreadsheet and you needed to get the grades, you can pull it right from there as a CSV file.
Dear subscribers, there are over 250,000 of you now. A critical mass at a critical time. We have the cumulative potential to impact global education. I've been assembled and given a voice for this video to describe one way to do just that. Please allow me 2.5 minutes to explain. My name is TED Ed, and I am a symbol for both the TED Ed website and the billions of videos available to you for free on the website known as YouTube. Today I invite you on a journey on which you will learn how to use ed.ted.com to create a lesson around the vast majority of videos on the web. When I say create a lesson, I mean that you may use the TED Ed website to search for any video on YouTube. Once you find the perfect video, the one that really blows your hair back, helps you understand, or that makes you pause and say, my goodness, the universe is a fascinating place, you may use TED Ed to enhance that video. You might use the Let's Begin section to set context for interpreting the video, or to define a learning objective for your students. Or you might use the Think section to add multiple choice questions with time-coded video hints, or open answer questions that beg for thought-provoking written responses. Or perhaps you'll use the Dig Deeper section to expand upon the video with articles, references, or links to an application, or maybe even your blog. If any feature is not your cup of tea, just click Exclude. And this new feature, Discuss, it lets you create riveting discussions around your favorite bits. Learners, you can engage with lessons independently. The site will save your answers, notes, and ideas to your personal profile and track your learning over time. New lessons are added every day. Teachers, as you build or distribute customized lessons to individuals or to groups, you may use the site to track the progress of single students or your entire class. And no matter who you are, if you take the time to create a particularly stunning lesson, please also take the time to nominate it. We will systematically feature the best community-made lessons within the ever-growing TED library, free for the world to learn from, to customize and to share. The possibilities of this tool are as infinite as YouTube itself, and we will be adding new features regularly in the months and years to come. To join me and many others in building a library of lessons worth sharing, simply click on one of the features that interests you. Thank you for your time.
So that's TED Ed in short. But I just love the idea that you can embed open-ended multiple choice questions, and you can have an opportunity for students to dig deeper and give you more rich content in terms of feedback, and you can have a discussion point. So you can't tell me that, you know, video is flat. Video will invoke those conversations, and I just like the idea that you can house it all within TED Ed. Additionally, it's an open educational resource because peer-to-peer, you can share your resources with others. The last thing I'm going to show you, I promise, Camtasia 8, the newest version of Camtasia for PC, also allows you to embed questions. So just another way to think a little bit outside of the box. Your videos now can be interactive.
Interact with your viewers and get instant feedback with the all-new quizzing feature in Camtasia Studio 8. Adding a quiz to your video is a simple way to engage your viewers with your video content. Use quizzing to assess and grade students, collect viewer email addresses, or allow your audience to leave feedback on your video. With options to add multiple choice, true and false, fill in the blank, and short answer questions, you can be sure you're always asking the right questions. Quizzing takes place directly in the video player. No external websites or messy sign-up required for you or your viewers. Receive reports directly through email to gather information, like how much of the content was viewed and how your viewers responded, all in an easy-to-manage spreadsheet. And with Screencast.com, you can be sure your quiz will be available on nearly any device for quizzing at home or on the go. But don't take my word for it. Try out the free trial and take advantage of Camtasia Studio 8 today.
So we do have licenses for the newest version of Camtasia for PC in our office, so that's definitely a tool that we can all use. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to go back to video. At least try to get this crazy screen share out. Any questions? Okay, so who wants to go next? Sure. Okay. Someone who joined us wants to know about the wiki that we're using. What I can do, if you send me your email address, I'll send you a link to the wiki. I believe that's Craig Yen.
Yeah, actually, I was just talking with him on Twitter.
Oh, beautiful.
And he wanted some information, and we were going back and forth, and I told him, pending your approval, we could share out ideas or this wiki, etc.
We would be happy to do so because it's all about sharing. Okay, back to this desktop thing. Matt, do you want me to manipulate while you're doing this?
No, let me get away from the Q&A and see if I can screen share here. Start screen share.
Okay.
Do you guys see that now? Am I too loud?
I'm going to lower it back.
Okay. Let's see. Do you see what I see now? The major takeaways for Misty 2014?
No.
No? I have it screen shared, but maybe not.
Oh wait, that was my fault.
It's okay. Yeah. So this is my little wiki space where I talked about the major thoughts and takeaways from ISTE. And in no random order. The first one was to dream big and dream bigger, to scare yourself with those big dreams and challenge yourself to follow through with them. I think that was Kevin Carroll. I think that was meeting Jeff Charbonneau. I think that was just the general consensus of the conference. One of the other major takeaways, and I saw this through the videos, was specifically in higher ed, we need to conquer the myths of technology. Technology is not meant to replace face-to-face interaction and collaboration. It's meant to enhance it. And there's a 3-part video that we sort of put together from one of the presentations with the myths of technology. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but when you get a chance, play all 3 parts. Play the first one or the second one, but the third one is the most impactful. And maybe actually I'll see if I can play that now. So bear with me for a moment. Let me see if it can work. Is it really low? No. Are you getting anything on the screen? No? Okay, let me stop. Let's go back to screen share. Let's go here. Is it back up?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I won't play it. Save us the trouble. But there'll be archive there for you to check out. And he goes in depth with the technology and the myths pretty well. There's 5, and he goes on discussing how technology has changed and how technology can essentially enhance the face-to-face interaction. And we see that K-12 and even in higher ed. And I think that needs to be addressed in a larger context moving forward. The third thing that was a major takeaway was Twitter was a great way to connect with a professional learning network. It's a game changer because resources and ideas are shared instantly. Like you just saw, the Craig Yen, who I've been tweeting back and forth with from my own Twitter handle and ALISD, once I tweeted it out, he reached out to me about getting involved or getting the resources, and that was within 5 or 10 minutes of the Hangout starting. So he got involved. And using Twitter to archive conversations using the hashtag that too often we, in pop culture, use the hashtag to do humorous things with, and they are funny. But you can use the hashtags to archive the conversations you want to have, talking about educational technology, something from Jimmy Fallon, etc. But they all get archived within that hashtag. TweetDeck is like Twitter 2.0. You can organize your Twitter universe, the Twitterverse, into unique columns. You can search via the hashtag. You can search via a list you created. You can organize them so the most important list is to the left. And maybe I can see if I can show you that. This is my TweetDeck at the moment. And so I have ISTE 2014 as the second column. The new teachers to Twitter is the third one. An ISTE list of people that you can constantly add to as you move forward. Hashtag EdChat is another 5th one. Teach Do Now, BrainPop. You can organize it in so many different ways. And you see all of these little blue links. And those are all resources for you instantaneously, whether it's something you follow on your own personal Twitter or the columns you've set out with the hashtag. So TweetDeck is pretty awesome. The next one that I sort of heard this. I don't know who said it, or maybe it was even on Twitter, but something to the effect of, if you haven't learned something new in the 21st century, you should not be teaching in it. That education is about being a lifelong learner. And education is about not knowing. It's about doing new things, learning from your mistakes, and always wanting to learn. And so we face this dilemma in the 21st century where people who are teaching in it don't always want to use technology, or they're not really interested in it, partially because they don't know. and they don't want to do new things. And I think that can be sort of a quiet referendum where we can stress that idea to one another. We love technology, but going outside the box and just stressing the idea that if you're in the 21st century and you're in education, you should be learning constantly. That doesn't mean about technology, it just means in general. The last one, or sort of the last one, is they're out there. People who are innovators, critical thinkers, tinkerers, scientists, mathematicians, historians, and scholars, and so many more. They're strong, they're powerful, they're pretty nerdy and geeky at times, but they are educators, and they're pretty awesome. And I had an opportunity to meet some people that I connected with via Twitter, and they're really cool people, and they're involved in education, and it was a wonderful way to put a name to a face and just say, I love your ideas, and they say thank you, and looking forward to interacting with them more, because they do some really cool things, and they're innovators, and they're critical thinkers, and they're looking into ways to change education. And so that was a huge takeaway from ISTE. And the last one is just an extra add-in, is to go with a team or a group of coworkers, to be honest, that you get the most from the experience and you get to share out the ideas. I would be remiss if I'm very thankful for the people who I met at ISTE, and I'm very thankful for the people I went with. I had the opportunity to go with my boss, Francis, who's the dean, my supervisor, and another coworker, and another coworker's two friends, and that was our own PLN. That we had a wonderful experience where we each had separate experiences, but we all brought them to the table and we shared out the ideas, and they were really awesome ideas. And I think Lori has something later that was really, really awesome that she put together, and that was from our experience together. That we all had separate experiences, but we shared the overall experience and the excitement, and that in and of itself was just as enjoyable as the conference. Was being able to laugh and joke and think critically with someone you work with to think about how you can change the environment around you moving forward. I thought that was just as enjoyable as meeting the new people and experiencing the conference center, all the little gadgets and things they had, and the giveaways and all that stuff. Going with a team and a group of coworkers was pretty special. And I'm very fortunate to have that opportunity. Some notes from ISTE. There's one-to-one teacher tech apps used by first graders. That's interesting because it's first graders, and they're using technology. And I go back to the idea of learning something new in the 21st century. That you have kids who are in first grade who are using technology now, using apps now, and they're in first grade. And in some ways, they might know more than the people who are educating them, but they don't see that as a fault. They take it and learn. And that is, here there's a PDF file. It is about 20 or 30 apps, web-based tools, and there's a QR code for work samples from these kids. They're pretty neat. And all of these ones here, all of these apps here, I want to explore, because I think if the first graders are using them, there's got to be a way we can implement them in a higher level. There's got to be a way to do it, because a lot of them are captioning pictures, stories, doodles, you name it. And they even hit on YouTube, iMovie, Symbaloo, which Kirsten just showed us a minute ago. All these great ideas that first graders are using that we could sort of bring to the table for higher ed. Iron Chef for Education. This was a really unique idea on EdTech Chef. And if you know anything about Iron Chef, two competitors come together and they have secret ingredients, and they put appetizer, an entree, and a dessert all together, and they get judged based on what they put together. And these people came up with developing an Iron Chef for Education, where you have to deal with statistics for types of learners and what you have to develop. There's all these different challenges. There's all There's a fusion cuisine challenge, a fine dine challenge, a corporate dinner challenge. There's ingredients where you have to deal with types of learners, ISTE standards, funding, grant topic. It's mind-blowing to really think of this, the idea they created. But one of the things you can do is you can host your own. We've talked about sharing, and one of the things we see, or I at least see in K-12, is that everybody shares. And I think that's something that going forward should be a global idea, is everybody sharing. But you can request resources. When you do that, they sort of give you this prompt about what it is you need to do and what you can do. But you fill out the information, and you can get a link to a website template, a folder of documents, lesson plans, etc. So you can have your own Iron Chef challenge. I want to do that here. I think that'd be awesome. You know, that'd be pretty neat, where maybe we could have a couple people in LTR team up with other members of LTR and within the deans or the divisions, and we come up with, you know, whatever this EdTech chef is going to be, or the Iron Chef competition. But I think this was a really unique idea. I think it's pretty cool. I think something we need to explore a little further. How can we remix this here? The other one was a presentation on app smashing. I'm trying to see. She has another Google site. I think one thing you can see already is that with ISTE, a lot of the information was all digital. They had websites. They had PDF files. They had QR codes. And it's crazy how much technology they're using, and how they're using technology that you wouldn't think would be used in technology in education. But they have the presentation, they have student examples, they have the app QR codes, so they have a link to all of the apps here. Explain Everything, Haiku Deck, iBooks, iMovie. Some of them we have, some of them we don't. Puppet Pals, Sock Puppets, even though I think that's $2.99. Telegami, Evernote, Socrative. I mean, these are things that we're using, and some things we're not. Toontastic, which is pretty awesome. And so they have all these links to these different apps, which Book Creator. How cool would that be for students to have to create a book, and they could use the app, and they have the use of the iPads here to do it. Just thoughts. But I thought that was pretty neat that and she actually, when you go back to, they have the student examples, or the presentation rather. When you go to the presentation, they actually have the way they used certain apps together, and why to App Smash. And if you're not familiar with App Smash, essentially you're taking apps that you have on your phone or your mobile device, and you're using them together, like iMovie and Dropbox and Telegami, to make a movie that you're going to put into Dropbox and share with other people. And it's pretty neat. And so what they do is they go over examples. Some of them are free, some of them are $2.99 or $4.99, but they show you what it looks like when you put GeoBoard and Doodlecast Pro together. They show you what it looks like when you put Explain Everything and iMovie together. And they put these in pictures. They didn't actually show the digital stuff, but they do have the student examples, which you can click through at your leisure. Poplet and Book Creator. They just Telegami and Book Creator. It's interesting to see how many ways they just take two apps, and I think towards the end they actually have three. They take Haiku Deck, Art Cloud, and iMovie. Three things to make what would be a movie for a presentation. They have Photoshop, Express, Pages, and type drawing, and they developed this picture that could be a poem. You can go so many different ways with it. I thought that was really neat how they're taking not just two apps, but they're taking the three apps. And I could see in a larger context maybe taking 4 apps and doing something pretty big with that. Some pictures that I took from some of the presentations, the poster sessions, which I really thought were informative, was a flipped literacy classroom. This lady was in 5th grade, and she flipped her classroom, and so she has the pictures of the apps, she has some QR codes, and she goes over the top reasons why to do it, that it provides formative assessment. It actually increases instructional time because the children are looking at videos prior to class, and they're collaboratively working on something in class, and it supports ESL and struggling learners simply because they can review that video as many times as they need to better understand it. And I think when you think of education, you want it to be at the user's discretion to be able to decide, do I want to hear this? How often do I want to hear this? And how do I want to hear it? And so they're able to look at YouTube videos multiple times. The next one is digital citizenship. It's only a picture, but it was some really useful resources. I followed her on Twitter, and the idea of digital citizenship, the idea of understanding what it takes to communicate in the digital realm, much like citizenship, but they sometimes will call it digital citizenship. And so how you interact on Twitter, how you interact on Facebook, what you put on the internet, what's your digital footprint, what's your e-portfolio, all of these things are talked about with digital citizenship, and they are under the conversation hashtag DigCit, D-I-G-C-I-T, to my knowledge. And I think in the picture, she actually has the Twitter hashtag that we can use so that we can be a part of that conversation and the resources from that. This lady was talking about exploring history, and really any subject for that matter, through animation. She was working in elementary school, and one of the apps she showed was Morpho 3D Face Booth. It's 99 cents in the App Store. I'm considering just getting it for my own personal use, but it's something that we might want to consider in a larger context, perhaps. Essentially what you can do is you can take any picture you want. You can take a picture of, a baseball player posing, at an event. You can take your own picture. You can take a picture of Abraham Lincoln. You can take a picture of Shakespeare. And what you can do is, within that app, you can set the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and then you can record your voice or whatever voice you want to imitate about what you want to say about that person or whatever it is your project is. It records it, and then when you talk about it, the eyes blink, the mouth moves, and it's that person talking to whomever you're presenting it to. And while it seems very elemental or very elementary, I think that can fit in STV classes. There's a way to fit that in higher ed, and I don't know the time length on Morpho 3D Face Booth. I want to say she said 30 seconds, but I think you can do a little bit more than that. And so I was really amazed and was thinking that there's one of the ways, one of the apps that I would be interested in exploring to see how we could implement that here. The other app that I want to explore, and there's only a list of 2, but that's because the other lists are amongst the other resources, was TouchCast. I had an opportunity to while I was volunteering, Brad Gustafson, who's a principal in Minnesota, was doing a blog video about what's the one big takeaway from ISTE. And I got to be a part of that because I was volunteering and I had the Ask Me sign. And he said you can be humorous, you can be serious, whatever you want. And he was using TouchCast. He was using an iPad, and he had 2 or 3 people with him who were helping. You could use a teleprompter. You could add a Twitter handle. You could add a YouTube video. You could add pictures right into your video, right into the stuff you're making. It's got a green screen capability for that green screen idea Kirsten was hitting on. It's an all-in-one video capture. It's crazy. There's tons of features, and I got to see it firsthand being used because we had to take 2 or 3 takes, so they were able to manipulate it. So, all right, we'll get rid of that. All right, go ahead, start now. And it was really easy to use. It was really quick, really effective, but it was in high def video. So I mean, it was perfect. But that's another one that I'm interested in getting on my iPad. And they actually have a beta that you can download onto your computer. They have it for a PC. They don't have it for a Mac. I would recommend anybody who's in this conversation or who views it to get the TouchCast beta for their PC. I use Mac and PC, so I'm trying to get it on the PC, but that's a whole other issue. I eventually want to get it on the Mac and use it, and when I do get the PC's fixed, I will put it on the PC and to be able to manipulate that, and I think that was pretty awesome. I got to see that in action in real time when I was volunteering during the conference, and so that was a fraction of my experience, and I could go on and talk about how cool it was and the people I met and all the different things. But for the sake of time, I'm going to stop because I know I'm long-winded too. But it's on the wiki space, and I really would say view the myths of technology. I think it's pretty neat. The finale is awesome, and I think it's really impactful. And I took away a lot from that. So I'll stop, and we'll turn it over to Lori at this point. So I'll stop. Do I have to stop sharing, or can she just share?
I'm going to click on Lori's, and then she should be able to start sharing.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
I can see you, Lori.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Give me a second, and I am going to start my screen share. I am actually going to start with the Prezi that I made about ISTE, Confessions of an ISTE First-Timer. I think it's done loading. Nope, not yet. It was very graphic intensive. Can you guys all hear that?
I think I can hear it on your computer, but I don't hear it coming through my speakers, and I have my volume up.
I can't hear it either.
Hold on. All right. All right, things I took away from ISTE. First off, they told me to wear comfortable shoes. I did. My feet still hurt. Realized very quickly that a bag that only has one shoulder strap is really going to make your shoulders hurt. So I suggest for future people going to ISTE to please wear a backpack because it will evenly distribute the weight and might help you with that little issue that I had. The ribbons. They're fun. First, it's kind of like ISTE poking fun at the, important, you're a presenter, you're an ISTE affiliate, all of these things, and they just make fun ribbons. We realized the more that we had, the more people stopped to talk to us and asked us about our ribbons, where we got them, and we got into conversations, and a lot of people we ended up following on Twitter. I really feel like I've gone back and forth with these people on social media, and I'm creating relationships because they stopped and asked if they could take a picture of my ribbons. There were a lot of lines, but some of them were definitely worth standing in. Specifically, Kevin Carroll's keynote speech. It was absolutely amazing, very inspiring, and if you're ever someplace where he's speaking, I would definitely suggest standing in line to listen to what he has to say. There were definitely some great ideas. This was a really cool 3D vision thing. It made it really feel like you were riding a roller coaster. As Matt said earlier, the flipped classroom. This was the specific app that he was talking about that helps you move the eyes and the face so that it's speaking the way you want it to speak. All right, this was something that I just really liked. These are called buoys, and they're really cool seats. And I really like this setup, just kind of a very informal collaboration space. And the robotics that they had there were really awesome. All right, the exhibitor hall. I so got lost in the exhibitor hall. I'm pretty sure that I only covered maybe a quarter of it, but as Kirsten said, it's like a casino. They have no clocks. There are like very few windows. You lose track of time so easily. So make sure that you have a timekeeper with you if you are going to go wander the exhibit hall. They had a lot of cool presentations and a lot of businesses that were really smaller businesses that you may not have heard of. This was Socrative, which I love. Sorry, I forgot to add the extra little video. But this is just a really quick little... This is kind of what it looks like from the viewpoint of the GoPro. You see it's kind of crazy. That is only one of the hallways that they had in there. And, oh, guys, help me out. It went from, what, like 3,000 to 400 in increments of 100?
Yeah, those were the aisles. It was, yeah, about that.
So it was huge, absolutely huge. But we met a lot of really cool people. Jeff Charbonneau. This is Benjamin Berthet, the guy who actually created Socrative. We were doing our serious faces there. This is the CEO of Nearpod. These are some of the teachers that we met. These are the ladies I volunteered with. And that's Kathy Schrock. And Matt with Curious George. All right, so that was really a big thing for me, was really the people that we meet. I was amazed how many people were there to begin with. I know Kirsten showed you guys the 16,000 people were there, and it was impressive. This is my wiki pitch. As you can see, I already added like the game building workshop notes, which was really good, I think, for the idea of gamification for professional development, which I think is definitely something we can bring to the Nova campuses. It gave a whole set of rules as to what makes a good game and why do people play games and things like that I really think we can take and kind of morph into what we need it to be. There were Literacy 2.0 tools. There are a lot of apps out there that I had never heard of before that are meant to help with student literacy, which I definitely think on Nova campuses some of our ESOL students might be helped with this, just because it is, some of it is very basic, others is more advanced, but it's a very good way to get into the practice of reading. Dr. Howie, he was kind of cool. He did this whole thing about Disney science. They have like an entire science blog, and he had a whole bunch of different tools and apps that you could use. Click on him real quick. All right, so he talked about like using conspiracy theory websites to foster critical thinking skills, and how NPR has a creative writing contest where they give you specific conditions that you have to work around. And as you see, there's just a ton of different things that I still have to go through, honestly. He had what's called the Jamestown Adventure, which is basically like a virtual field trip. Flight to Freedom. He had these I thought were cool, the CSI Web Adventures and the Smithsonian Files. I'm a huge crime drama nerd, so I thought that would be really cool to use in class to help get some of the kids into forensics. And Westward Ho, which was totally the Oregon Trail knockoff. All right, so as you can see, you can go on the wiki page and get the list of all of the stuff he talked about. These are some more things that I still have to check out. Different things for game making, guided reading, and the maker movement, which I'm kind of just getting into, but it has me fascinated. Couple things that I'm really excited about. Comic Life. It's an app that helps you create comic books. So how cool would that be to have students read something or do a history lesson and then have to create a comic book about what actually happened? OSnap Stop Motion is a stop motion app where you can create videos using, obviously, stop motion. You can also put it on a green background and use it with a green screen, so you can have your little stick people walking across whatever you want them to be walking across, because only limits are your imagination when it comes to actually putting together something on a green screen. Again, gamification, like I said, I think that will be huge for professional development. And Erasma is the one that I've been playing with for the last several days. It's an augmented reality app. So what you do is, it's really easy. It's on iDevices. You take it, you create basically an animation that you want to pop up when someone pushes their phone over an image. So they're called auras. So you create an aura, then you take a picture of the background image that you want the phone to be looking at. So the phone opens up the Erasma app, you scan over it, and your 3D image pops out and talks to the students, shows them another graphic, gives them more information. This would be awesome for a scavenger hunt type of a thing. You could put up pictures just everywhere, and the students would have to go through with the app and figure out answers to questions, or you can make it a game and make it like a quest. They have to find certain information to unlock the key to the next level. I am totally geeking out about Erasma. I think that is going to be totally cool. I also think it would be a really cool thing to make a gallery for students so that they can create their own Erasma things and then just have pictures up around the room and then have them doing a short video explaining what their picture and their project was. It would be a step away from the traditional stand in front of the class, give your presentation. You'd still be presenting, but it would be in such a cool new way. So still working with the Erasma app, but totally pumped about it and really hoping to use this later. All right, guys. I'm going to be quick about that one and let it go.
No, thank you, Matt and Lori, for sharing. I really think that we just scratched the surface with all of the things that we discovered at ISTE 2014. I will happily share the Wikispace link with everyone. I added, I'm kind of volunteering other people who participated in the ISTE to add resources that they discovered on this Wikispace. This way it can be a resource that we can all share. It will be a dynamic tool, and it will continue to grow because, like I mentioned before, we just started adding resources. So just again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share and to be with us as we shared our ISTE 2014 experience. It was great. Looking forward to doing it in Philly in 2015. And if you have any questions at this time before we go off air, you're welcome to ask. I'm just looking to see if anyone's typing anything. Okay, I don't see anything, so thank you very much. And on behalf of Northern Virginia Community College Instructional Support and Development Unit, thanks again, and we look forward to having another live broadcast soon. Take care.
Bye.
See you.